Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 settings you need to change right now to improve your movement. I'm pretty much just going to jump straight into it, but before we do that, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoy content like this, if you enjoy this video, consider subscribing, consider leaving a like, and consider leaving a comment if you want to see more content like this and you have any ideas. So up first, we're going to talk about the best sprint settings in the game and whether you should use automatic tack sprint or whether you should use tap once for tack sprint. Now, if you're wondering why this is so important to use and why it's so important to change your setting to be able to use this properly, is because so much of the best movement in the game, it is required to be able to use one of the 2 settings I'm going to recommend. Without these settings, you cannot have cracked movement like your favorite content creators. You cannot have super good movement without adjusting the setting. You can have really good movement, but your movement will be a million times better if you do change this setting. So the default sprint button and the default way to go into tactical sprint is by hitting your sprint button twice, and that is really annoying and really agitating to deal with. It hurts the thumb if you're on controller, it just feels kind of weird on keyboard. It's just generally pretty unenjoyable. And that's why I'd recommend using automatic tack sprint or tap once to engage in tack sprint. Now, both have drawbacks and both have positives. I'm going to start with automatic tack sprint first, and that's simply if you just hit forward at all. If you're on keyboard, if you just hit the W key, if you're on controller, you just move your left stick forward at all while standing, you're going to instantly engage in a tack sprint. That means there's no walking. You cannot slowly walk forward with automatic tack sprint on as a setting. Now on the flip side, tap once to tack sprint just means that if you tap your sprint button once at all, you're going to instantly engage in a tack sprint. Now, this is my preferred setting. You get the benefits of automatic tack sprint, and you don't have the drawbacks of using automatic tack sprint. There is a slight advantage for automatic tack sprint in that you just don't have to hit the sprint button at all, and that's going to be much nicer on your thumbs, but only having to hit the sprint button once is really not that bad, and it's much better than having to hit it twice each time you want to engage in a tack sprint. Now, this is going to make your slide cancels look a lot cleaner, but the main thing this is really going to help with is going to help with your jump shots. This right here is going to be one of the main reasons I'm telling you to change your setting. So look right here in the background. That is a normal jump shot that most people do. They're going to stand behind cover and they're just going to simply jump to the left or right. And this is the most basic jump shot. But if you look at the jump shot in the background that I'm doing now, when you engage in a tactical sprint right before leaving the corner, you get so much distance and it is so much harder to hit you. If you do this little turn, sprint, and hop thing, that is the biggest difference you can make with your movement by changing the setting. And it is so much easier to do if you have on just tap once to tack sprint or automatic tack sprint to do this. If you have to double tap twice, it is so clunky, it feels so weird, and you are not able to do that reliably. But if you change the setting, you are able to get this super jump shot reliably. Look at how much further I go. This is me with the double tap sprinting and me doing it without hitting the tactical sprint. That is how far it goes. It goes almost to that little bush. But when I have the tactical sprint option with automatic tack sprint or double tap once to tack sprint, I get all the way out behind the bush. And in the replay of me doing the same jump shot without tack sprint, I go about 3/4 of the way to the bush. So it is clear the difference that having this setting will make in just your jump shots. So that is the main benefit of changing that setting. But the other main thing is your slide cancels, guys. Now, it's really difficult to show the difference in slide canceling, but I'd really just recommend for you to try it. Because if you change this setting, the tack sprint setting I talked about, and you change the second setting I'm about to talk about, your slide cancels are going to be night and day different. They're going to feel so much smoother, they're going to look so much smoother, and they're going to feel so much less clunky. And that setting is going to be whether you should have tap to slide or hold to slide. And this one is pretty easy to answer. You need to really have it on tap to slide. This one, I can really show you the difference in how it looks when you slide cancel, but I'd really recommend to just try it. When you slide cancel with tap to slide, your slide cancels look so much better, they feel a million times less clunky, and it is very noticeable. With tap to slide, you feel so much cleaner, you feel so much more efficient, you feel just so much more quicker in general, especially with your slide cancels. And then when you combine it with the tactical sprint setting I talked about first, you're going to notice a massive difference in how fast you feel like you move and how clean everything feels. When this slide cancel is on tap in the background, look how quicker I am going into my slide cancels. Look at how much cleaner it looks. Look at how much better it looks. When I have it on hold, it looks clunky. I look slow. I feel slow, and it's something you'll instantly notice once you change this setting, or you even just try messing around with the unhold. It is just one of those things that I'd really recommend trying so you can just feel the difference yourself, and it's the same thing as the tactical sprint settings. Once you combine these two, your movement is going to be taken to a whole nother level. And that's going to lead me into my third setting, and that's going to be your sensitivity. And the reason I really want to talk about this is because, guys, it is not about how high your sensitivity is. It is about making sure your sensitivity is not so low that you're actively hindering your movement. And that's what I hope to help you with. Because as I said before, if you look in the background right now, I have a really low sensitivity and I'm trying to do that fancy little jump shot thing I did with the tactical sprint. And it's just so slow that it's almost impossible for me to do and have it look good. By the time that I reach the ground, I am not able to get on target fast enough to be able to shoot the person for it to really matter. On the flip side, if I up my sense too high, it's going to be really, really hard for me to aim. So this is where finding that perfect sensitivity is going to be extremely, extremely important. And there's one thing that I never realized until I fully made the switch to playing on PC, because I do play on console and I do play on PC, but there's something I never really realized. If you're on PC, your sensitivity should be a little lower than if you were playing on console. Because of the way field of view works with sensitivity, I play at 11:11 on PC and I play at 13:13 sensitivity on my PS5. So if you are playing on console and you are trying to nab your favorite streamer's setup and you're trying to find their sensitivity and what settings they're using, you are going to be using incorrect settings if you're on console. If you are watching almost any content creator, bar most of the videos I've made in my life, almost everything you've seen has been on PC. So if you are trying to get Z-Laner sensitivity, if you're trying to get Husker sensitivity, whoever, Aiden, whatever, and you are playing on console, you are going to need a slightly different sensitivity than that. But not only that, you need to find that right sensitivity for yourself. You need to be able to do a slight turn, a 90-degree turn to your left or right, engage in a jump shot, and then be able to turn back on target and hit accurate shots while you're jump shotting. If your sensitivity is incapable of doing that, then your sensitivity is too low. If you are incapable of hitting shots, you either need more practice with that sensitivity or you need to lower your sensitivity a touch. It's about finding that sweet spot. For me, as I said, on console, I use 13:13 with the linear response curve. On PC, I use 11:11 with the linear response curve. For me, that linear response curve is perfect for the way I play. It allows my aim to be precise. It allows me to flick around. It allows me to be in control at almost all times. But for a lot of people, they don't like linear. They like dynamic or classic better. But for me, and one of the main things I did realize is I had to play at a really high sensitivity to help my gameplay. The second I bumped my sensitivity to over 1010, I noticed a big difference. I think most people will see a massive difference just playing at 7.7, 8.8, 9.9, 10.10, or somewhere around there. You will notice an instant improvement to your jump shots, to your side canceling, or whatever. So, just to wrap up, the number one setting I'd really recommend changing is either using automatic tap sprint or tap once for sprint to run. The second setting I'd also really recommend changing would be to make sure your slide is on tap and not hold. And the third thing to focus on is finding that perfect sensitivity that's going to allow you to do advanced movement, but it's not going to hinder your aim. Finding that sweet spot is super important, and you really just got to give yourself time to also learn your new sensitivity. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoy content like this, do consider subscribing, do consider leaving a like, do consider leaving a comment. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a good day. It's been Ryan. Peace.